Manga-Waido.
My name is Shinichi Kawamura. I'm just your average businessman. No. It'd be better to say I was a businessman. What happened was that the other day, the company I worked for went bankrupt, and I was out of work. The president disappeared, and I couldn't get the money I was supposed to get. I lost all my hope. My wife, Yuko, supported me through this. Yuko, I'm really sorry to make you worry like this. I'll find a new job right away.
We have some savings, so you don't have to rush. It's okay.
Thanks. You're so good to me.
You won't get anything out of me even if you praise me.
Yuko and I had known each other since we were in kindergarten. We went to the same schools up until high school, so we were always together. Because our parents knew each other, that's how we met. My parents worked for a company that makes uniforms. Yuko's parents were running a kindergarten, and they used that uniform for their pupils. Our parents were friends with each other, so we also saw each other often, and we naturally became good friends. Because Yuko's parents did business with us, my family's financial situation was good. When we started going out, both of our parents were overjoyed.
Make sure to behave yourself, alright? Yuko's parents have been very good to us.
Take care of Yuko. If you make her cry, I won't forgive you.
Of course! I'll take good care of her. You don't need to tell me that. Although both of our families had a good relationship, the reality was that my family was the one getting work from her parents. In terms of the relationship balance, Yuko's parents had the upper hand. But Yuko said,
Our parents' work doesn't concern us.
And she was her usual self when she was with me. Thanks to her, I was also able to love her as a woman. I started working for a company and then proposed to Yuko. When I did so, she said,
I'm happy. Let's take good care of each other.
With a smile. Our marriage life was very happy, and we were blessed to have healthy children. Everything was going well, until my company went bankrupt. They're rejecting me too. My job hunting was not going well. A month went by, then 2 months, and after 4 months, I started to get pretty worried. That's when my dad gave me a call.
We don't have enough people. How about you come to work with us?
Thanks. I'll think about it. To be honest, I felt rather embarrassed about relying on my parents, but I couldn't let my family worry any longer about me being unemployed. The fact that my parents reached out to me now was because they probably needed to hire someone. The longer I kept them waiting, the more inconvenience I'd be causing them. I can't let my stupid pride get in the way. I'll do my best! I thanked my father and decided to ask him to let me work for him. But
In the end, do you need to get help from your parents? I thought that you would be able to enter a better company than that.
for some reason, when I decided to work for my father's company, Yuko's behavior suddenly changed. I'm sorry, but the salary will be the same as before, and I don't want to inconvenience you.
How can I explain this to my friends? All my friends' husbands work for good companies. It's embarrassing that you would be working for a small-sized factory. On top of that, you'll be relying on your parents.
Yuko let out a huge sigh. To be honest, I was surprised by this. With the way she was talking, I wondered if deep down, had she been looking down on our family for a long time? It was a shock, but maybe Yuko wasn't her usual self because of job hunting. I wanted Yuko to be back to her kind, usual self. I worked very hard, and I saved $200 for myself as pocket money, and I gave the rest to Yuko. But
The bonus income is only this much? It's half of what you used to get from your previous company.
Sorry, it's only been 2 months since I started working there, so I think it's pretty good that they're giving me a bonus. Don't you think?
I don't want to hear any excuses. What are you planning to do about our children's lessons fees? Rika needs to buy a dress for her upcoming performance. Kenji's saying that he wants a new glove.
We can use our savings for that!
There isn't much left of our savings because we used most of it when you were out of work. Goodness sakes, your salary is so low, and I'm so irritated that you don't even realize how little savings we have left.
But the salary is the same as my previous company's, and I'm also taking less pocket money than before, so...
But, if you have time to make excuses, do some house chores. If you can't earn enough money, it's only natural that you do the house chores to make up for it, right?
I hate to say this, But I was so surprised by Yuko's transformation that I was at a loss for words. But as time went by, why does she have to get so angry with me just because the bonus salary has decreased just once? My dissatisfaction grew. After that,
It was in the way, so I sold it.
Yuko sold the things I had for my hobby on the internet. She also tore the baseball game ticket to pieces. I'd been saving up the money for it by cutting my lunch cost.
If you have time to go watch something like that, do some housework.
She would scream and continue to behave in a terrible manner. When I argued with her,
It's your fault, you know? You didn't fulfill my expectations.
she would readily complain. Give me a break! Do you really not like it that I joined my parents' company?
That's what I've been telling you. A husband's workplace is also the wife's status. Your previous company wasn't first rate, but since the local people knew the company's name, I thought it was all right. But a company that takes on subcontracts looks terrible.
Don't talk about my parents' company like that! Everyone is working hard to make good things! It's a good company!
Your company wouldn't exist if my parents didn't order your uniforms. It's a tiny company. If you're gonna talk to me like that, I can ask my dad to stop placing orders with your company.
Ah! Yuko's parents managed the biggest kindergarten around this area. For that, they placed quite a large number of orders. I couldn't inconvenience my company just because I lost control of my emotions and put Yuko in a bad mood. I decided to repress my anger for now and tried my best not to get in a fight with Yuko. I did what she told me to do. I didn't want to let my kids see the two of us fighting. The kids
I want to do it too!
helped out with the household chores. As long as I keep quiet and do the house chores, Yuko will be happy. As long as I put up with it, I stopped hoping for the gentleness from Yuko as I used to. This kind of life continued for about a year. Yuko said to me,
You go.
she wanted me to go help out with the cleaning of a park in our neighborhood. That's when I heard something unbelievable. A few of the housewives came up to me.
Where is Yuko today? Is she playing around with that guy again?
That's what they whispered to me. From what they told me, Yuko was sometimes seen walking with a young guy. They had pictures to prove it. I was shocked.
You know how Yuko seems kind of arrogant and bossy. She talks to people after she looks down on them.
There are many people who are angry with Yuko, and one of them saw Yuko walking with this young guy.
It seemed that Yuko was telling the other housewives that the husband's job is the wife's status as well. Yuko would ignore those whose husbands worked for small companies by saying, I don't want to be associated with the poor people. For people whose husbands worked in the cleaning industry, she would tell them, don't come near me because you're dirty. The housewives said,
Yuko is often like that.
and each time they said so, I'm sorry about that. I could only apologize on her behalf. I really was no good judge in terms of choosing the right woman. After that, I asked these housewives to send me the pictures they took. I then hired a private detective to find out what Yuko was up to. There were pictures of the man's face. Yuko had also been meeting with the man at a cafe in front of the train station, where people could easily see them. She must have thought I'd be easily deceived. All of this made it easier for me to do my research. In just 1 week, I was able to gather enough evidence. Yuko didn't know that I had tons of evidence, and as usual, she was shouting at me.
Why are you taking it easy? You think you can be like that when your earnings is so low? Go and clean the bathtub.
I worked overtime yesterday, so I'm tired. Please let me rest just for today. You could do the house chores.
What? You're answering me back? If you don't do what I say, I'm going to divorce you.
I had simulated this sort of conversation before, but I didn't think it would follow my script so well.
What are you laughing about?
Sure, let's get a divorce.
What? What? What are you saying? If you divorce me, my dad will stop ordering from your company. I'll get the parental rights too. If you dare to get a divorce, why don't you?
We'll be fine without the orders from your family. This past year, we've been working on expanding our online business. We've been able to get orders for costumes and uniforms online. You know how I used to work in the IT industry? I used my knowledge for uniform orders, and it worked unexpectedly well. That's right. This past year, I've worked hard on starting our online business. because Yuko had been looking down on me, saying that I worked for a poor little factory. Our products are well made, but our service after the products have been sold is also very good. In the beginning, the number of orders wasn't so big, but as the word started to get out, the larger share of profits was coming in from the orders made online, rather than from local schools and kindergartens. So that's why we don't need to rely on your family anymore. And why I no longer need to work for you like a servant.
Oh God. What? What are you talking about?
I'll be sending you a bill for the consolation money. And I plan to fight over the parental custody, so be prepared. I showed her the proof of her affair. Her face turned completely pale.
Oh, that's a misunderstanding. That guy, well, he is a friend from my university days.
People don't go to suspicious-looking hotels with a friend, right? Why don't you just give it up and start working part-time so you can pay the consolation fee? Yuko was screaming her head off, but I sent off the proof to my father-in-law. Then my in-laws came rushing to our house and struck Yuko in the face.
I am so sorry! Our daughter has done such a terrible thing!
If bad rumors start going around, our kindergarten business will be badly affected. Pretty soon we'll start accepting applications for the next year's students, so we really don't want to have a bad image.
Hey, Dad and Mom, I can't believe you're getting down on your knees to apologize to such a guy.
Be quiet! You get down on your knees and apologize too!
You are no longer our family. I will not allow you to enter our house.
What? Why on earth?
In the end, the consolation money was paid out of Yuko's savings she had before our marriage. The amount she couldn't pay from her own money, her parents would pay for her. She was to pay them back later. This is how I received the whole amount at once. I got parental custody. Yuko resisted, but my in-laws said,
"A woman like you who has affairs outside of marriage has no right to raise children!"
And that shut Yuko up. The children said,
We want to be with Dad.
so that was the decisive factor. Thanks to my in-laws, who convinced Yuko to agree to a divorce, I took no further action regarding this whole affair. In the end, they experienced a shortage of applicants for the next year's kindergarten batch. The in-laws,
"The bad rumors about Yuko caused it all!"
lamented over the situation. But it seems that a bigger kindergarten had been built in the neighborhood, so that the applicants had gone over to them instead. We'll never know the truth behind the shortage of applicants. In any case, Yuko had to take responsibility for the applicants' shortage and was driven out of her parents' house. In order to pay back her parents for the consolation money, I hear that she's working from morning to night at a farm her mother's friend is managing. I received an email like this from a free email address, but I erased it and blocked the address as well. From now on, I hope to live in peace. Anyway, I think I'll take a trip with my children somewhere as a way of apologizing to them for all this mess. Of course, the money will be coming from the consolation money paid by Yuko's lover. I think I'll be forgiven if I use it to get rid of all the gloom.
My name is Morikawa Aki. I lost my father when I was young because he got sick, and I've been living with my younger brother and my mother since. They found a malignant tumor in my mother about 2 years ago. We had tried surgery and chemo, but to no avail. Aki, you don't need to worry about me. So worry about your own store, your cafe. Mom, thank you. I'm going to make sure I'm successful. My mother passed away peacefully in hospice while my brother and I watched. Because my mother left me with such amazing kindness, I was able to move forward with my brother quickly. I was especially able to move forward as I was so close to achieving my goals. Hey, Mom, watch over me, okay? I'm going to make a great store. I had a fancy little store that had all of my little designs in it. That was my dream since I was a kid. After I made my dream cafe, I was busier than you could imagine. There were no real cafes nearby, so our store was full every single day. We didn't have enough people, so we ended up hiring an extra set of hands, twice what we expected. However, after something happened, things started to look gloomy. Welcome! Huh?
Hey, lady! The usual. Black.
I'd like a caramel latte. Triple caramel.
Okay. After this crowd shows up, all the other customers leave in a hurry. It wasn't just that. He started asking for taxes.
Hey, lady! You really need to start figuring it out. You want to keep this business going, right?
No, I can't give you any of my money.
Oh, come on! You already paid us once! It's the same thing, just do it again!
I gave you the money as cleaning fees. Our prefecture punishes both the Yakuza and the business for hiring them. I could not fold. I will call the police!
Whatever. I'll leave you alone for today. But I'll come again.
They stayed way too long than I was comfortable for, but they finally left. I'm home!
Hey, sis. Dinner is ready.
Heita, who was now in college, would take care of the house on his own. I was so happy to have him around. I was proud of him.
You don't look too good. Did the thugs come again?
Yeah, they stayed a little over an hour. I was sighing and started eating when
Who could it be this late at night?
he went to the entrance. I was confused too, so I checked the intercom when... No way! They came to the house? There was a man who definitely looked the part of a Yakuza member.
I'm gonna tell them what's what!
Before I could stop him, he answered the intercom.
Are you the guy who's coming to my sister's store? If you come near either of us again, we're gonna call the police!
Huh? No. I don't understand. You must be confusing me with someone else. I'm here for something else.
Give me a break! You have no idea how much of a headache my sister has because of you people!
No, seriously. You're mistaking me for someone else. Mom? Is Mom there?
Huh? Mom passed half a year ago.
Huh? This guy, he's not like the others that come to the store, and he looks kind of familiar. I'm going to answer the door.
Huh? Sis!
Are you...
Aki? Aki, right?
Oh my god. Kenichi, right? Is it you, Ken?
Yeah! Long time no see. It's been since, what? Elementary school? After I transferred, right?
That person was Kenichi Ida, a classmate of mine from elementary school.
Mom. No.
I explained that she had passed about a half a year ago, and he collapsed on the spot. I didn't realize that someone who wasn't family would be this sad. I watched him cry as I once again knew that my mother was a great person. We moved to the living room and Ken talked about the past to me.
Do you remember that my family only had a dad?
Yeah, I don't know if this is the right way of saying it, but he was the scary guy, right?
Yeah. He was a piece of shit that could only work day to day.
When Ken was young, he was always starving. He wasn't being fed. In other words, he was neglected. The only time he could eat was when he ate lunch and a little special time after school. Mom had heard about what Ken was going through, and she said, "Hey, come by my store. I'll make sure you're going home full." To Ken. At the time, Mom had a small restaurant. She would call Ken and... "It's only leftovers, so you'd be helping me out." Cook him leftover meals. Ken was pretty hesitant at first, but he slowly started eating more and more every day. Eventually, he would be at my mom's store before I got home.
Welcome!
He would even welcome people to the store.
Hey, today's omelet is really good. You should have some. I'll eat at the house.
Also, Ken, it's good today. Today's omelet is also good.
Oh, my bad. Her cooking is the best in the whole world.
There was also a different event. One day after class, when I went by the restaurant, Ken and Mom were staring at each other. Ken was crying. Mom was also crying. You never say that you want to go to your mom's place, no matter how sad you are. Never. Do you understand?
But
He must have gotten tired of living with his father. Ken had told my mom that he was tired of being alive.
If I could, I would take you in a heartbeat. I need you around, Ken. I really believe that, so please, don't ever forget that, okay?
Auntie. However, at around the same time, my mother's mother, in other words, my grandma, had collapsed. We had to move because we had to take care of her. As we started getting closer to the day of the move, my mother took Ken to the local foster home. She was begging the employee.
Please, take care of this child, please.
She was crying because she was upset that she couldn't protect him and she couldn't take him. That's how our families went our separate ways.
After that, I ended up going down a pretty rough path. I did whatever I could in school and played a lot. I went to middle and high school, but I was just an outlaw.
I see. You seem to be doing so well in the letters.
I mean, she did so much for me. I couldn't tell her that I turned into some delinquent.
After he graduated, he eventually stepped foot into the Yakuza world. That was probably around the time that we stopped receiving letters from him.
Anyway, I wish I could have seen her. I wanted her to be the first one to know that I was on the right path again.
Right path?
Yeah. Some things happened and our gang disbanded. I'm allowed to live in the regular world now.
Oh, really? Congratulations! Oh, I think.
Thanks. Anyway, your brother seemed pretty upset a second ago. What's that about?
I spoke to Ken about my cafe and what was going on.
Ah, I see. Funny how they're acting pretty tough, huh? It's fine. I got it.
The next day, the thugs came right back to my store again. However, today was a little different.
Sorry. You mind leaving the store?
What the hell do you... What?
It is one of us! Who are you with, asshole?
You really pulling crap like this to the regular society members? You damn thugs. Don't ever show up here again!
You all just remember, we still have that envelope!
They scurried away.
What's this thing about the envelope?
Oh, well, at first I had spilled some stuff on them and I slipped on one of their feet and spilled coffee on their clothes. I handed them an envelope with money to clean their clothes. And then they started saying I was paying them off and blackmailing me.
Ah, I see. So if you call the police, then you go down with them.
Yeah.
That's pretty dirty of them. I'm sure they tripped you too.
I mean, thinking back now, yeah, maybe.
Whatever. I'm glad you told me. They'll come back. I'm gonna make sure it's their last time they come back.
Just as Ken said, the thugs came back the next day as well. They looked around for Ken and came straight to me when they couldn't find him.
Hey, lady! Don't hire some Yakuza, alright? That's mean.
You realize we might have to call the police now, right? Huh? Report some bribery?
But I was terrified. That's when
Got it.
Ken shouted from the back.
Did you get it?
Heita, wielding a camera, also popped out from the back, nodding victoriously.
You two? You were... Huh? What'd you do?
Oh, I just got evidence of a terrified victim. This is totally attempted blackmail.
Damn it! You really had to do that, huh? That's fine. We'll get you back!
It was right as the thugs were ready to throw down.
You two! Enough!
Sir! Why are you here?
We heard something was going on. Some young blood was messing with the innocent public.
The thugs calmed down real fast after the man they referred to as Sir showed up.
I guess you're the one that called us? Sorry about our kids. We'll be sure to teach them a lesson after this. So can you let this go?
Understood. If you want to promise to never cross paths with us again, we can call it a day.
Thank you for your kindness.
Then the sir
Get the hell out of the store, you shitheads!
literally kicked the thugs out of the store. That's how my store was able to be peaceful again. Thank you. This was all thanks to you.
Oh, I'm just trying to help out as much as I can. I really can't repay Auntie, even if I spend my whole life trying to.
Afterwards, the thugs never came back and we started gaining traction again. Ken still comes by to pay respects to Mom sometimes.
Hey, Auntie. I finally figured out what I'm going to do.
Ken apparently really liked law, even while he was in a gang. He was studying and had taken a law exam that even high school graduates could take. He was going for the real bar exam next. An ex-Yakuza turned lawyer, huh? That's impressive. Once you're the real deal, can you be our private lawyer?
You don't have to hire me to be your personal lawyer. I'll protect you and the store for the rest of my life.
Huh? Is that...
Yeah. Wait. Hang on. I'll explain to you all and talk to you again once I pass the bar exam, so just wait.
Okay, I'll be waiting. 2 years later, after long, hard nights of studying, Ken passed his bar exams. We put in our marriage papers and had a small little wedding. I'm sure Mom would be happy from heaven. Mom, that Ken is really now your son. I reported to my mom at her grave, and I felt a nice breeze.
Hello? Hello?
It's me.
Who is me?
It's your sister, Natsuki, damn it!
My name is Ryosuke Maeda. I received a surprising phone call today. I didn't know how long it had been before I received a call from my sister Natsuki. That's how separated we were. Our parents were basically education-only parents. They didn't care at all about anything except grades. I thought it was normal, but looking back now, I've realized how insane it was.
How can you not get a 100 after studying that hard?
I'm sorry.
You're not gonna be a good adult like this!
If you don't get a 100, I'm not going to let you out.
But...
It's your fault for failing.
My parents wanted me to study, get perfect scores, go to perfect college, and go to the perfect company. This was the only way to find happiness to them. They also believed that's what determines someone's worth. I was on the slightly smart side of studying. My sister, Natsuki, on the other hand, was always top of the class. On top of that, she was pretty and very athletic. Of course, my parents cared more about her than me.
Oh, great job, Natsuki. 100s all month.
You make your dad proud!
My sister was always praised by them and told that her brother was terrible. At some point, she started looking down on me.
Why can't you do something so simple? Whatever. Just don't get in my way, okay?
I was neglected by my parents who had no hope for me. They would ignore me and skip my meals. That's why I hated the environment, and I left as soon as I graduated high school. I spent my high school part-time job money and scholarships to go to a relatively cheap national university, and started living alone. I didn't have any allowance, so I was barely getting by on my part-time job. However, I felt free for the first time in my life. Afterwards, I stumbled into acting and felt fulfillment like never before. I was ingrained in the acting school. I dropped out of college and joined an acting group. It was when I went home to report about that.
Get the hell out of this house. You're a shame.
I always knew you were bad from when you were young! You really can't be helped!
I'd gone to college on my own money, but they weren't having any of it. I learned how to ignore what they were saying, but I remember my sister's cold, dead stare like it happened yesterday. However, it was only 2 or 3 years that our acting group actually did well. Slowly, we started losing our audience, and I left the acting group. I tried hard for 6 or 7 years, but my acting would never see the light of day. I still didn't want to go home, so I was doing a part-time job as security. It was since that day that I received a call from her. I heard her sigh on the other side of the phone. What do you want?
Are you working?
Huh? Work?
Stop stalling, just tell me.
I work as a security guard.
Of course, that's all you can do. Okay, I can tell you now.
She started off her speech like she was reading off a script.
I'm going to get married later. Not that it has anything to do with you. The only reason I'm calling you like this is because...
Oh, you're getting married?
I just said I was.
Well, congrats!
I'm going to make one thing clear on this call. I don't want you to come to my wedding. Also, don't ever come into contact with me. Understand?
What? What do you mean?
When our families met up with each other, they asked about my brother's whereabouts. We had lied, but there's no way we could explain a loser brother who dropped out of college, joined some acting troupe no one had heard of, right?
I left because you were complete jerks to me.
Whatever. My point is, I told them that we have no idea where you are after you ran from home. I'm not wrong, am I? So, don't ever come into contact with me again.
You!
My fiancé works at a great company and is elite. He's nothing like someone who is old and works as a security guard. The fact that you exist is enough to shame our family. Understand?
I had nothing left to say back.
Also, a lot of famous people will be joining our wedding because of his connections, so don't come.
Okay. Fine.
Thanks. The best thing you can do as a brother is to cut ties with me and leave me alone. Bye.
She hung up on me. But I think this was the end of my relationship with my family. I actually felt relieved. A few weeks later, I received a single letter in the mail. After opening it and looking... Huh? I was confused at what I had read, but I started to understand the situation after a little bit. This'll be fun! The day of her wedding, I showed up at a certain church where she was going to have her wedding. I wrote my name at the reception and told them I was the bride's brother. The woman immediately looked startled and ran to the back. Natsuki showed up immediately.
What the hell are you doing?
What do you mean? I showed up to say congrats to my sister. I swung by Mom and Dad's house to say hello first.
Stop messing around. I told you not to come. Let me explain to you, since you don't seem to understand. My husband works as an editor at a big-time company. He's got connections in all sorts of industries, and a lot of the things that he works with get produced into movies, too. Famous artists and actors will be coming, too.
And?
You're not supposed to be here. Disappear now.
Some of the relatives had shown up after hearing the ruckus. It's about time.
What?
I was actually invited by your fiancé.
What?
I actually started laughing after seeing her confused little face. She was getting even more angry.
What are you laughing at? Do you understand? The fact that you exist is a shame. Please, get the hell out!
Then the groom showed up. Hey, Natsuki, what are you doing?
Go home, now!
Natsuki, calm down! Natsuki, who was pulled away, was out of breath. What is going on? Sorry, sir. Are you okay?
Sir?
Yeah, I'm okay. It was just a sibling rivalry thing.
Sibling?
Oh yeah. She's my sister. What? Really? Why didn't you say so sooner? Oh, you know, she told me not to come.
Wait. Hang on. I don't understand. What's going on, Mr. Tomoya?
I'll tell you. He's the author that I'm working with right now.
Author?
I was also writing scripts when I worked with the acting troupe. After we disbanded, I continued to write. When I had time between shifts, I would write. I didn't gain traction at first, but a few years later, I was able to become a new writer and author. I won awards and whatnot too.
You didn't tell me that.
His work is now selling worldwide and is gonna be made into animes and movies.
But...
He's actually one of the top authors at our company. A lot of the actors and authors that are coming today are somehow connected to his work. He's so busy all the time, but he's made the time to come by.
He only told me that he was a security guard.
You guys don't care about me, right? And I don't need to say anything. Besides, I'm a part-time security guard. It's nice to put myself in a different environment rather than sitting around all the time. I'd always been working as a security guard while writing, so I think I'm just used to it. Anyway, didn't you say that you couldn't find your brother and that he wouldn't take any of your calls? Can you explain what's going on?
About that,
All the celebrities also showed up.
Oh, it's him! How long has it been, sir, since the filming the other day?
Oh, hey, I'm looking forward to watching the drama. I'll work hard to make sure that your work is portrayed correctly. Oh, you can really act however you see fit. Natsuki and my parents were both stunned to see how I was talking to all the celebrities. All right, we really need to get ready, so we'll be leaving now. Come on, Natsuki. I called Natsuki from behind. Natsuki! Congrats on your marriage. I really am happy for you. She didn't look back and walked away. Afterwards, the wedding went well. But the husband kept asking her what had happened after the whole debacle with me. Eventually, they found out how the whole family was lying about me, and they ended up divorcing within a year. She used to work at a large corporation, but she had retired to become a stay-at-home wife. In other words, she had to find another job. However, she couldn't find another big job, so she had to work part-time jobs. I, on the other hand, was successful as all of my writing was doing well, and they asked me to write continuations as well. I was busy, but fulfilled.
Your newest piece was incredible! What a great son! Come home sometime!
Are you keeping yourself healthy? I'll cook for you any day, so don't hesitate, okay?
My parents, who had shunned me, completely switched their tunes and have been pestering me ever since they found out. My father's company is apparently doing bad, and they're in need of financial aid. I, of course, returned with, "It's hilarious and pitiful how you two have switched how you behave towards me. The terrible son has succeeded, and now your precious daughter has failed. I can only imagine how you feel. I digress. Please, don't contact me anymore." I understand I may be repeating myself, but after the toxicity I had to deal with growing up, I have no intention of being around you two. In fact, I'll be publishing a novella on how toxic of parents I grew up with. I pushed them away with all of my might, and they finally left me alone. No matter, I'll still publish the autobiography. I don't really care what will happen to them once I publish. It's all on them. I hope they pay for what they've done.
My name is Natsumi Toyota. I'm in the 6th grade. I have 2 brothers. My older brother is Haruto. He's good-looking and gets great grades. My parents are always bragging about how he's the son to be proud of. But I like my second brother more. My second brother, Akira, always talks to me and plays games with me, unlike Haruto. Also, Akira is great at cooking and making snacks. If I asked for something, he would cook it for me. It's so good. It's like store-bought cake. You're an amazing cook.
I just followed the recipe. I'm glad you like it, though.
We all lived happily together. But after Akira started high school, things started getting bad.
Akira, I'm already disappointed that you failed out of Manhwa High. You can't even be on top of the class at this low-life school?
Why can't you study like Haruto?
If your grades dip anymore, you're gone.
If you have time making stupid snacks, you need to study!
He's in trouble because I asked him to bake for me. I'm sorry. You got in trouble because of me, right?
No, it's because I'm stupid.
You're not stupid. You always teach me. I love you, Akira.
Thanks. You're my only ally.
Afterwards, they got mad and stopped giving him allowance. He couldn't buy his favorite game and he was upset. I wasn't sure how I could cheer him up.
Miss Toyota, you don't look well. Are you okay?
I'm okay, Alyssa. Thanks.
If you're okay... Oh, hey! That bento looks delicious!
Alyssa came back from Germany last year and is the only daughter of a very rich family. She's very fashionable and fancy. I don't know the brands, but even as a kid, I knew her clothing was all expensive. All that, and she said my bento looks good.
My brother made it for me. Oh, he also made me take this to share with my friends. Want one?
Really? Oh, wow, it's so cute! Your brother made all of this?
Yeah, he's a really good cook. I handed out the cupcakes to my other friends, and they all loved how it tasted and how cute it was. Alyssa was clearly shocked at how great it was.
It looks really cute and appetizing and has the flavors that really backs it up. It's simple but very thorough.
Thank you. He always says he follows the recipe down to the T.
Hey, I want your brother to teach me how to bake. Can I go over sometime? What?
I thought she was just being kind, but she kept asking me when I would be free, so she must have been serious. I was happy, so I invited her to my house. Alyssa, this is my brother that I was telling you about. Akira, this is that friend.
Nice to meet you. Wait, aren't you that girl that comes to nature class?
Huh? Oh, your brother was Akira? Alyssa knew about my brother because he teaches at a volunteer class, which Alyssa was a student of.
My father says that I need to learn more about Japanese nature, so I started going this year. But I'm not good with bugs, so I was terrified.
Wow, you actually have something that you're not good with?
Yeah, I mean, I'm human too. But Akira taught me about bugs a lot, and I was able to overcome my fear.
Really? He's always been great with nature. He actually started practicing cooking because he wanted to eat good food outside.
Yeah, I wanted to make easy to make food so that I could eat outside. But I'm glad that you two started getting along because of my cooking. So, let's get started with baking some cupcakes.
Yeah, let's!
Yay, cake! Afterwards, Alyssa would come by every once in a while and learn how to cook. Alyssa's house had some professional chefs and ate great food every day, but...
Oh, your simple but delicious baking is the best I've had.
Or so she said. I was happy that we all started getting along better. But when I took Alyssa into the house that day...
If you have more time volunteering, you need to be studying!
Learn more from Haruto.
I'm sorry. I don't know about today, Alyssa. My parents were yelling at Akira in the living room.
Oh, Mr. Akira is really being punished, yeah?
Yeah. He really wants to go to cooking school, but both of them said no. They said if he goes against them, he'll be chased out of the house and won't pay either. So they've just been arguing a lot recently, and I'm sorry you came all this way. I was going to ask Alyssa to go home, but Alyssa looked more scary than I'd ever seen before and started walking into the living room.
I know I'm not good at studying like Haruto, but you don't have to be that rude.
If you don't want to hear it, then maybe you should learn from Haruto!
I shouldn't have given birth to you if I'd known that this piece of shit was going to be born. I think that's going too far, yeah?
Alyssa!
Is this your friend, Natsumi?
Yeah, she's a classmate.
Hello, I'm Alisa. Mr. Akira is always teaching me how to cook, and he teaches me in my nature class. He's an incredibly smart and kind man. He is not a piece of shit.
Look at this kid talking.
Ugh, Akira, you're always playing with these kids. That's why you're a terrible adult.
You dirty kid! I wish you'd get the hell out now!
I was about to yell at them because I was tired of it, but then...
Okay, I'll take him. What? If you want him gone, I will take him. I see what he is worth, and I will not make him upset like this. I will show him where he can really shine.
Look at this child saying some dumb things!
Oh, you're that strange kid from Germany. Rich people are a little crazy, huh?
Whatever, little girl. Take him wherever you want. I don't care.
Yeah, as long as we have the great Haruto, we don't care.
You heard some, Mr. Akira? Come with me.
Huh?
I will show you to my house. Or would you prefer staying in this place?
No. I'm done. I don't want to be near them anymore at all.
Miss Natsumi, would you like to come as well? No worries, Mr. and Mrs. Toyota. I will have her back by tonight.
I listened and left the house with her. A little after she called someone, a black car came in front of the house to pick us up. About 10 minutes later, we arrived at a large castle-like mansion. She spoke to a maid for a little before she showed me to a large room.
You can live here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, of course. I told you I would take care of it. Don't worry, relax today.
He started living with Alyssa from that day on. Alyssa has different chefs that come by every day, and my brother would join that team.
I have a great chef that I think you'll get along with. I want you to learn how to cook to the best of your abilities and then look to get hired. Of course, if you don't want to, that's fine too. How about you be my personal tutor if you don't like that?
Tutor? I'm not good at studying at all.
You know a lot about nature, right? My father, who watched you in your class, also highly rated you. You seem to be so passionate and knowledgeable.
A grinning Alyssa looked like an angel, according to my brother. Afterwards, he lived in her mansion and learned a lot from the chef. He started working at a restaurant after he graduated high school. I wish he could be my personal tutor forever. Oh, I'm a little sad. Alyssa, who is now in middle school, said that, but she was happy. Afterwards, he brushed up on his cooking skills and won some awards in a contest a few years later. Alyssa, who came to watch the contest, was cheering on, saying that she had always known he had talent.
Thank you. This is all possible because of you, Alyssa. You took me out of the house, so I'm here.
Come on, it always was your skill. Anyway, you have to keep making me snacks, okay? Promise me.
Of course! I'll deliver snacks to you every day.
That's nice, but I'm going to get fat.
Oh, my parents? I don't live with them anymore. After Akira left the house, Haruto graduated college but ended up in the company that my parents didn't like. They knocked him, saying that it was shameful to join a third-rate company. Along with the fact that the company was pretty bad, he quit within the year. He'd just been inside the house screaming and throwing temper tantrums. I spoke to Akira since I was way too stressed out, so I live with him now.
Our household needs you, Akira!
You won some great awards, right? I would love to have some of your own cooking. Please come home.
He gets those calls, but he just replies, "You're the one that told me to leave the house, right? If you keep bothering me, I'm going to block you," and hangs up. That wasn't all that happened. Because Akira left the house, my grandfather, who was a very rich man, figured out what was happening and said that he would not be putting any of them in his will. My father, who is borrowing money, expecting his inheritance, is pretty panicked.
I go to school with tuition, and I make money at a part-time job, so I don't plan to deal with those toxic parents. Alyssa, I have my brother's newest creation. Oh, I'm going to get fat, but it does look great. I'll have a bite of that sword. That's what I'm talking about. I want to get along with my brother, of course, but hopefully Alyssa too. Love you, Alyssa.
My name is Rio Makita. My kind mom, who's an excellent cook, is my favorite. I hate my father because he's trashy. My father, who's a male host, sleeps till noon and wears flashy clothes to go to work in the afternoon. I always thought as a child that he was the worst. However, I didn't say anything because he always brought money home. Even though he was a host, he barely made any money, so we were always poor. My mom's grandmother was always helping us out, so we were okay, but... Mom, are you okay? I'll do the small work so you can just go to sleep. I can't make an elementary schooler do this. Don't worry, I'll be done real soon. My mother was always a little sick, but she would work tirelessly at her part-time job and some small jobs on the side. However, she tried her best to make sure I could live the life I wanted. But maybe it was too much for her. When I was in middle school, my mother passed away, and my grandfather suggested that I live with them. But my father...
Don't worry about it, Gramps. I'll take care of her. Don't worry.
He wasn't wrong. It would be pretty bad to push that kind of responsibility onto my elderly grandparents. I ended up having to live with my father.
Rio, your food is delicious.
Oh, it's just like Mom's cooking.
I mean, she taught me, so please stop yelling at the dinner table.
Sorry. You're just like her, huh?
My father never changed after my mother passed, and if anything, he started getting worse. Sometimes he would come home smelling like alcohol, and even bringing a woman home. You're Rio? I came because your father asked me to. Uh-huh. We're girls. Let's talk. I'll teach you things. I don't need it. Go home! I was more upset at my father than sad that my mother passed away. My father had no idea how I felt.
I have no idea how to study at all. This is so amazing that you can do that.
He would laugh while he watched me study. Oh, I hate this. Why did Mom marry him? I slowly started ignoring him, even when he talked to me. Then, when I was in 9th grade, my father finally went too far.
Hey, Rio! I'm here!
Huh? Why? He showed up to school day. I never invited him, and I threw away the pamphlet for the invitation. I heard afterwards, but apparently one of his patrons actually was a worker at this school and heard that today was school day. I went home and yelled at my father. Why did you show up? And in that outfit? That's why I hate it, and I don't want you to come!
Huh? But these are the best clothes that I have. The store loved it.
You can't come to school wearing your host outfit? It's already embarrassing. This is the worst. I thought he would calm down after seeing me freak out, but after that, he looked a little dumbfounded.
You really are like your mother. You gotta relax a little. Guys aren't gonna be interested in you.
He started laughing. I was at a loss for words. Afterwards, my father was called to the school for parent-teacher conferences, but...
I haven't even finished high school, so I have no idea. You figure it out.
He just left it to other people. My teacher was shocked. I had no hope for him, so I didn't feel anything, but... I went to a local high school and started working part-time. I just wanted to get away from my father. I wanted to save up some money and start living alone.
You're seriously so hardworking. When I was 17, I was playing all day. I can't even do my multiplication charts.
Shut up. If you don't have anything for me, leave.
Oh, my bad. Here, a customer gave this to me. You use it.
I can't use this shiny bag. Don't talk to me. I was honestly tired of my father messing with me, so I went straight to work after school, and when my father left for work, I went home. We never spoke, and I graduated high school. I was moving to the employee dorms. I'm not coming back.
Okay. Well, I hope you succeed. I'm always gonna be here, so come back when you want.
I said I'm not coming back. That's when I left the house. The dorms were small, but I was happy with my father not being around. I didn't have to deal with the smell of alcohol or being messed with while studying. This must be what it feels like to be free. I was finally free. Around a year after I started working, someone at work asked me out and we started dating. Unlike my father, he was super serious and honest. The dating went well, and 2 years later, he proposed to me. This man wouldn't be like my father. I happily accepted his proposal. I should tell Mom. When I left the house, I brought a picture of Mom with me, but I wanted to actually see her memorial. I wasn't sure, but I decided to go home. I didn't want to see my father, so I went when he should be working, but I ran into him when he was running late.
Oh, hey, Rio! You're coming back! Welcome home!
I have nothing to do with you. I just need to talk to Mom.
What? You gonna get married?
What the hell? How did he know?
I knew it! Wow! Congratulations! Who's the lucky guy? What about your wedding? What should I wear? I'm so excited!
You're trying to come?
Well, I am your father. How about this? I just bought it recently. It's really popular.
No! You can't show up in a freaking host outfit! Oh, people are gonna laugh, just like the school day! I felt the anger boiling within me as he pulled out his flashy clothes. I knew because the man I was dating was an honest man, and this guy was crazy. My mother passed because she had to deal with this guy. Please, don't come to the wedding! You're not my father! I tried to squeeze past my father to go to the memorial, but my father was a pale blue and trembling.
How did you know I'm not your father?
What? What do you mean? You're not my father? I froze after seeing that look on his face. What do you mean?
I gotta go! I'm late!
Wait! What the hell? My father threw on a coat and ran out. I was a little hesitant, but I needed to know. I went to my grandparents, who were now in a facility. Grandma, Grandpa, tell me if you know anything. I'm an adult now. I won't be surprised. Please, tell me. My grandparents both looked troubled, but eventually, my grandmother opened up. Rio, you and your father aren't blood related. Your real father is someone else. According to my grandmother, my biological father is a club member from when my mother was in college. My mother, who was pregnant with me, told her boyfriend at the time that she was pregnant. But he said,
My parents will kill me if they hear about this! Please, abort it!
But my mother, who had taken her time to check for her pregnancy, had missed the window to abort the pregnancy, so she was at a loss. After a while, the biological father graduated and abandoned her. My mother, who was lost, was found by my current father. He said that he would raise the child with her.
They grew up with each other. His parents were terrible people, and they always just ignored him and let him go do whatever he wanted. They wouldn't even come home for days at a time.
My grandmother had noticed that he was always abandoned as a child and took care of him. They grew up together, almost like siblings.
He's not great with his words, and he's not good at saying thanks, but he really did appreciate us helping him. He helped out your mother who was lost and lifted her up. Your mother was happy to have you.
After talking to my grandparents, I went back home and waited for my father's return. Early in the morning, my father came home, reeking of alcohol.
Whoa! Rio! You scared me. What are you doing? You came home to see Mom again?
No, I came here to talk to you.
Okay. About the wedding, right? Don't worry. I won't attend.
No, about the past. I heard from Grandma. about what happened. My father suddenly looked serious and quietly mumbled, "Ah, so you know." Why didn't you tell me? We're not blood related.
I didn't think I needed to tell you.
Grandma said that you're working as a host because you punched out the man who got my mom pregnant and you lost your old job.
Oh, yeah. That did happen, didn't it? But I think I'm doing a great job as a host. And someone like me doesn't deserve a great job.
You need to stop bringing yourself down like that. Grandma and Grandpa both said they appreciate you. I appreciate you too. The only reason I was able to be born was because you supported my mom when she needed it.
Rio.
I mean, I can't forgive you for showing up to school day in that outfit, but...
Sorry about that. I thought it would be funny, but I guess it didn't really stick.
If you don't try to joke around like that anymore, then you should come to the wedding.
Huh?
Bring Mom's photos with you too. Thank you for raising me. You're really too lax, and I was really annoyed when you wouldn't leave me alone. But you worked hard. The only reason I was able to get this far was because of you. As I said that, my father laughed a little before bawling.
Rio, I'm sorry that I said I would be a good father, but I was just a bad father. I kept causing you trouble. I couldn't do the right thing. When your mother died, I didn't know what I should do, so I figured if I invited over a woman to talk to you, you'd be happy, but you were pissed, and
That was for me?
I don't know a thing about love or, time of the month, so I figured that you two could talk about it.
Why didn't you just ask Grandma for female advice?
Oh, yeah. I forgot. She's a woman, too.
You're seriously a little slow sometimes, Dad.
Sorry. You called me Dad, though. It's been so long. Rio! Keep calling me Dad. Yeah?
Okay, calm down. That's how we ended up seeing eye to eye. We saw each other's parents, and I married my boyfriend. Oh, this is something I heard later on, but apparently my real father was in an accident that he caused and has become paralyzed from the hips down. He doesn't seem to be having a great life. I don't want to say that he deserves it, but I guess karma is a bitch. It has nothing to do with me anymore, and he's someone I don't know, so I don't need to think about it anymore. I'll focus on my life.
I'm going to throw the bouquet now. Why are you trying to get it, Dad?
Ha-ha! Huh? I thought grabbing the bouquet means you'll be happy or something.
No, Dad! Please stop being weird.
He's still the same old dad, but I have a much healthier relationship with him. I hope I can make him proud. Watch over me, okay, Mom?